Joining us this morning is Undersecretary Rosemarie Edilion of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development. Good to have you back, Yusek Rose. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning, Kathy.
So President Marcos is flying out to India for a state visit. What more can we expect?
Oh yes, we're quite happy with this one. Actually, we already have an FTA with India, but it is through the ASEAN. So that's the ASEAN India FTA, and there has been talk actually earlier this year if we could have a bilateral agreement with India, because a bilateral agreement would give us more flexibility. And yes, actually the agreement was to go beyond scoping and now go into the real negotiation.
So how much more flexibility, Yusek Rose, and what would that mean for our current bilateral trade relations with India?
Yes. So like I said, right now our trade relations with India is actually through the ASEAN. So therefore, any agreement we have should actually be agreed upon by all the ASEAN member countries. So it's kind of difficult to put in more of this good terms, good trading terms. But right now, then we can have better agreements with them. We're looking at aspects like trading, like in automotive, the battery value chain, pharmaceutical value chain, of course, the pharmaceuticals itself, and of course your fintech, other investments. Actually, because India is also very big on the digitalization.
It is, and it's a huge market that's also a
It
part
is.
of BRICS. So do you have any figures as to how much so far we're doing and how much could be had with any of the
Yeah.
agreements that can be signed in the next few days?
Yeah, none yet on the forecast, but so far, India actually, interestingly, up until last year, our exports to India makes up about 1.5% of our total exports. But like I said, as early as February of this year, when they started talking and the possibility of having bilateral agreement, actually the share of India of our exports to India increased to 2.1%. So I'm sure that it will increase further once an agreement is reached.
And what could extrapolate from that it could also be good for the local economy, especially that we're going
Yes.
to receive and see how the GDP had done in the second quarter. How much of that economic slowdown, though, is because of domestic reasons, growing more slowly than 6%? And how much or little of it is aggravated by the lingering uncertainty of higher tariffs?
Yeah. Well, right now, especially looking at the first quarter, actually domestic demand is very robust. So it's not really the internal factors that was responsible for that slowdown in the first quarter. For the second quarter, well, there will still be that the impact from the rest of the world, and therefore, net exports could actually be slowing down, but still not negative. So we're actually very hopeful about the second quarter, judging from, there's lots of other activities. As you know, we had the election in May, and also the good weather during the second quarter. So I hope it all aligns, and we'll know for sure, of course, by Thursday.
Do you have a target or a forecast target? If it's not 5.4%, if it's faster than the first quarter, what could it be in the second?
That will have to wait until Thursday.
All right. Well, the Finance Secretary himself, Ralph Recto, was quoted last week saying that the Philippines could forgo revenues of between 3 billion and 6 billion pesos a year because of those zero tariff concessions granted to select U.S. goods. What is DepDev's own computation, and what impact is it going to have on total revenues and overall GDP?
Yeah, so actually, like Secretary Roque has said, the negotiation is still ongoing. But from the initial discussion with SecGo, his initial announcement, at least, where he mentioned about soybeans, about wheat, automobiles, and then the pharmaceuticals. So for the soybeans and wheat, these are actually, aligned with our strategy to reduce input costs. And so, with the lower tariffs coming in to the country, yes, there will be reduced tariff revenue, but we're thinking that this could actually be beneficial to our MSMEs, those in the bakery, those even those manufacturing the feeds, because soybeans and wheat actually are very are actually an important component of feeds. Now, for the pharmaceuticals, that would actually give us more choices for pharmaceuticals. So, as you know, we really want to bring down the cost of medicines, especially the specialized medicines. So, we're hoping that that is actually the direction that we're going.
So how much of an impact then in consumer prices, if this is really going to be good for the local MSMEs, and when can we feel the impact? How soon?
Well, the impact is we'll have to wait until the negotiation is done, and everything has to be. Of course, there has to be that signing by both countries. But actually, just on the 19% tariff that was imposed on us. Okay, so minus Singapore, then we're actually looking at better than our neighbors in terms of the tariffs. If we had been given the same tariffs, among across all ASEAN, it will, if it's the same, then that means we're just back to where we were before. But the thing is, there was, a slight concession on our part, and the thing is, for many of our exports to the U.S., these are actually exempted from the reciprocal tariffs. So like your semiconductors, these are exempted. Your wood products, these are exempted. And these are our major exports to the U.S. So in fact, we actually simulate that there will be a very slight positive impact on us. And this is really by way of trade diversion. Of course, another thing that like Secretary Roque said, we should be looking at the other markets so that if the reduction in demand from the U.S. Really gets realized, then we have to find additional alternative markets for our products.
But do you agree with exporters right now saying that we lost our competitive edge because the tariffs in other ASEAN nations were lowered just as well?
Actually, like I said, it will be the same as before. If it will be the same tariffs that was imposed on us, then we're back to where we started. And if the thing is, if we have been a major exporter of a particular commodity, then that means we are the ones with the comparative advantage. Of course, we would have wanted, the previous set of reciprocal tariffs where we were imposed a 17% tariffs, but 19% will still take it. And like I said, pertaining to our major exports to the U.S., then these are actually exempt from the tariffs, and therefore, it will be the same situation as before. I think we have lost competitive edge pertaining to our agricultural products, and so the thing to do there is really to look for other markets for that.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for the insights, Yusek Rosemary Edilion of DepDev. Appreciate it.